Well, we're jumping right into the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference this week here in Vancouver, British Columbia. We're starting off the week with chatting with Peter Tallman, who's the president and CEO of Klondike Gold Corp. Klondike trades on the TSX venture with the symbol KG. Peter, good morning.
Good morning. I'm the first.
You are the first.
Well, I'm privileged.
Let's there's a lot of news coming out of Klondike lately. A big drill program underway. So give the investors an idea of where exactly you are drilling, and what does success look like for the company this summer?
As well, a bit of the backstory. So we've just published the first 43-101 geology technical report for the bedrock in the Klondike in 125 years. In that report, there's a map that rewrites the geology of the Klondike. And part of that is, historically, the gold mineralization in the Klondike is thought to have been Jurassic, 180, 160 million years of age. And it's not, we think. We feel strongly it isn't. And previously, there'd been no faults ever identified within the 600 square kilometer package that we have, despite the idea that it was a orogenic gold deposit. And for an orogenic gold deposit, you need a fault somewhere because that's where the mineralization is. So it's a revolutionary map that points to the prospectivity of a belt that, until I got here and before we published this map, was considered. There's 20 million ounces of gold in nuggets and stuff lying on surface, been mined historically, still being mined. And it was concluded that there's no gold left in the bedrock. It had all been eroded away, so really there was no exploration potential until I got there. So with that, it's a long-winded explanation intro. We've just published the 43-101 geology report. Within the next couple of months, we're going to have the first ever in the 125-year history of the Klondike bedrock mineral resource. It'll be between, forward-looking statement, between 500,000 and 1 million ounces, all open pittable at surface. 2 zones within that. They explain the source of Bonanza Creek, which was the discovery Creek, and also El Dorado Creek, which was the most prolific creek in the Klondike. And to your question, what are we doing this summer? We are drilling in between known areas of what we hope are going to be part of a mineral resource estimate. There's about 1.5 kilometers to drill that would connect these 2 areas. We think that's mineralized, and that's our job basically in the first 2,500 meters. The objective of the year is to be well over, another forward-looking statement, well over 1 million ounces as mineral resource, and we would update that early next year.
I'm really interested in, can you kind of walk me through the story of this reinterpretation of the geology here, and why has it taken so long to take a fresh look on the Klondike, which has been there's been books written about this.
There's been so it's been sensationalized. It's a gold rush, right? Everybody in the world knows about it. Most of the world participated in it, actually, at the time. The geology of it was, in fact, reasonably well known from 1900, 1920. There's a 1948 report. There was really good work done in the 1960s. All of those concluded, well, they found gold and lots of it, but gold was between $20 and $60 an ounce. And so it was uninteresting. And open pittable, the idea of an open pit resource didn't exist before 1960 anyway. And so through the 90s and up to the mid-2000s, the exploration was still they did a poor job, to be honest. They didn't discover much, and that was part of the interpretation. Well, there's nothing here. But again, the Klondike is covered with black muck. It's the northern story. There is no outcrop. The only way to explore it really effectively in the modern era would be drill it, and that's what we're doing. And that's been the difference. So we've drilled 80 to 90,000 meters in 5 years, whereas the previous explorers who spent almost 20 years they drilled 6,000 or 7,000 meters in short holes all over the place and didn't conclude much.
With the drill data from that go around, what could you take away from that really helped you push forward with 90,000?
They systematically drilled in the wrong direction as one, and that also supported the conclusion there's nothing there. They actually drilled a prospect that's central to our best zone. It's a quartz vein. That was one of my first holes. So we drilled 7.8 grams over 6 or 7 meters as a discovery hole on a vein that's exposed in a trench that's 80 meters long, dipping this way. And what they'd done is drill here, missed it, drilled there, missed it, came back here and drilled there, missed it, and concluded there was nothing there. It's exposed, anyway. So that tells you the level of what I was started with. And it was, so in the first 19 holes that we drilled in 2015, 14 of them had visible gold. We drilled 4 different zones. We made 2 legitimate discoveries from that. And both of those are now going to be in our mineral resource.
So actively drilling, walk us through kind of the results here, and are you getting what you expect to be seeing? Are you getting better than you expected? You know, how do you kind of sum up success in 90,000 meters, I guess?
Well, it's been totally a learning experience because the data that we had was unreliable. We 2 zones, the Lone Star zone, which is the source of Bonanza Creek, it's been shed down into the creek, is fine-grained, millimeter-size gold. And so that looks entirely different than the Stander zone, which is the source of Eldorado Creek. Eldorado Creek, the placer, is known for bird's eye chunks. The largest nugget in the Klondike, 60 some odd ounces, came from there. These are coarse clots of gold, and that's what we see in the Stander zone. I didn't, until probably the beginning of this year, I really was having a hard time distinguishing the two. I just thought they were the same, but we now can do that. And so the target at Lone Star is disseminated. It behaves nicely and evenly, and it's fine. It's still visible gold. And the Stander zone is more challenging from a statistical point of view. It's all coarse, cloddy, nuggety gold. We had our best hole there was 1,000 grams gold, 1,000 grams silver over a meter within the Stander zone. So that gives you an idea. There's some challenges there, but it's fantastic grade, and it's what you would expect in an orogenic gold deposit.
So looking forward in the rest of the year, with obviously very active with drilling, what do you want to get accomplished here? If you look forward into, going into 2023, which is crazy to think about, but what do you want to have accomplished here in the next 7-8 months?
I am looking ahead through 2023, but in mid-2023, I hope to have in excess of 1 million ounces as a mineral resource published. We will have commissioned a PEA by then because this is coarse, free gold. It's recoverable easily by gravity, so there's no big difficulty here. It's effectively a big placer deposit. There's been 20 million ounces recovered by placer. It's simple and cheap. And so a PEA, I think, would look spectacular. And this gold is all at surface. And then from there, carry on, because in the big picture, I think the Klondike can host a giant gold deposit. It is in that giant class already, but nobody's found any gold in the bedrock. And to compare, the California gold rush to the Klondike gold rush, there's been nearly 40 million ounces of gold come out of California, and there's 220 plus million in bedrock. That potential has been unrecognized until now in the Klondike, and I think we have a lot to go and find.
Really interesting story, reinterpreting, the areas of probably the most pronounced gold rush in the entire world. So best of luck to you this summer. Look forward to catching up with you maybe next year, and we'll talk about those technical reports.
Perfect.
All right, that's Peter Tallman, President and CEO of Klondike Gold, again trading on the TSX Venture with the symbol KG.